When we talk about work, if we're only talking about people who get a paycheck, we're missing a lot of the work being done in this world. My wife constantly reminds me that she has worked her whole life through, even though there's been only just a really short time that she was getting a paycheck for what she did. I watched the work that she did with our children to begin with, that way that she labored to make their lives creative, the places that she took them, the things that she did with them, her ministry footprint in the neighborhoods where we are. There are many families that know Christ today because Denise pushed strollers through our neighborhoods and met other moms and then introduced me to the dads of that home, and our families became acquainted and they made their way to Christ. I've watched her as she took up, as our home was emptying of our own children, I watched her become, for young mothers in our congregations, that go-to person of practical wisdom for how you raise children, what you do in a family. I've watched her during our years of pastoring on college campuses and now as president on a college campus. I've watched her become that friend of college students. She works at having a Facebook presence with them, carrying on conversations with them. She's a mentor to the women's soccer team. She has people in and out of her life all the time. And that's not easy. I mean, there are times that I see her go above and beyond the call of duty in terms of doing those kinds of things. And to name that as the kind of work God is doing in this world is a significant thing because homemakers are highly devalued in the world that we live in. There's a sense in which, because they're not bringing home money, that what they're doing is not as important. What we know is that the large majority, some say is as many as 90% of those who are Christians today made the decision to follow Christ before they were 10 years old. And I think it's that mom who is having influence in the life of that child growing up in that home, that stay-at-home mom that has the ability to instill within a human being the kind of value that will follow them throughout their life. Mothers may well be the creators of the tomorrows of the world that we live in. And for us to somehow place a value on that, for those who can and choose to stay at home and do that, it's important. I think of students in our colleges. They're not getting paid for being a student yet, but I remember the day. That a pastor said to me, I was about a sophomore in college, and he said, I hope you're doing your pastoral work well. And my response to him was, well, you know, I'm looking forward to the day when I can serve a local church. He said, no, that's not what I'm talking about. He said, you are already serving the people that you will one day visit in the hospital, preach to, lead in a congregation. You're already serving them by the way you do your work as a student. And something clicked in my mind in that moment. And I suddenly realized in my education, I'm already on the job. And the quality of the work that I will do for the rest of my life is dependent on how seriously I take my role as a student. So I love to say to students here at Trevecca all the time, you're already on the job, and you are demonstrating your respect for the people you one day will serve by the way you read a book, by the way you do a report, by the way you enter the complexity of something that you're doing in a classroom. You're already working. Understand that. Yeah, you're not getting the paycheck now, but the paycheck that you get one day, you will have deserved because of the way you do your work today.